What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel for another Steam Deck video taking a look at Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. This is updated because, if you remember, we definitely had our issues on launch day, which we'll talk more about. But this has quickly become in my top 3 games of 2024. Being a big Indiana Jones fan probably helps that, but the game is actually really good, and I've enjoyed it a lot. But playing it on the Steam Deck has certainly been an issue, and we'll talk about that some more here. But it is much better than it was at launch, as you see here, where the anti-aliasing was broken. We had the green eyes, things are shimmering and moving and having all kinds of issues on launch day. The green eyes was definitely the funniest one. So Kryptonite Indiana Jones. But I kind of walked away from it for a little while, and recently we got some updates to the game and over on the beta channel OS for Steam Deck, so I've been able to actually play the game at least looking normal, even if performance isn't amazing. So I am on the beta channel to get this to work. Over on stable, it is still an issue with that anti-aliasing or whatever's causing all the issue on screen with the graphics, but on beta it is working properly for now. So hopefully stable will get some updates that help that soon enough. Now, for settings that I'd be using or recommending for now anyway, 800p 1610 full screen. I don't have any VSync on here. You can use VSync if you want to, and also just low preset here on the overall graphics settings. And then when it gets to our render resolution, we're going to use static for that, no dynamic, and I'm going to have that at 50% for the game, but we'll talk more about that as we get into it. But over on the stable channel, again, we still have the graphical issues, even though the green eyes are fixed and other graphical issues are fixed that I noticed in the game from launch day, but we still do have the tremendous issues with it rendering improperly here and the image looking right. So even if performance is about the same with it fixed, it certainly just wasn't able to be played the way it looked on the stable channel since launch. But over here on beta, we don't have any of those graphical issues anymore, and we don't have the green eyes, we don't have any of that stuff happening, so everything just runs normal here. No stutters in the game really either, or anything major. It's clean frame time wise, but of course we are low FPS even with these settings on the Steam Deck. To be honest with you, I'm surprised the Steam Deck is even able to play the game the way that it does, and there's probably some room for improvement there. If we go from 80% though to 65% on our static resolution scale, we gain a few FPS. And if we go in here and we go ahead and change this to 50%, which was my recommended in the beginning of the video, I know that's low. It's the lowest we can go here. And we don't have FSR in here yet, at least 3, and frame gen and all that, which I think would be great. But this is kind of the best I can get as far as FPS wise, and just trying to keep things running the best we can here and on that GPU and everything. So that's what I'm going with here. And on the smaller deck screen, it's really not so bad. I definitely wouldn't want to play this game docked and on a bigger screen, though. This way it just is not going to look good, but I can kind of get away with it here on the smaller OLED screen. As far as that FPS, yeah, it is still going to be low in pretty much all areas. My experience as we go through and look at different spots has been 25 to 32 FPS as my average here. And sometimes it'll dip below that, but it's kind of rare, and other times it will go higher, especially if you're inside doing things in some of the dungeons and stuff like that. You could easily go 33 to 40 FPS in those areas. So it will kind of vary in between that. It's not very high. But again, I just think that as someone who appreciates handheld gaming and where it is right now, and someone who grew up on like the Game Boy, the Game Gear, the Tiger Electronics and all that when I first started handheld gaming way back in the late 80s, I really appreciate where we're at here with handheld gaming, and the fact that we can even play a game like this at all. I think it's actually pretty amazing. It may not be playable for a majority of people, and I completely understand that. Coming under 30 FPS in a first-person view game like this can certainly be an issue, but as you see here, it is technically playable, and I haven't had any crashes this way. Again, no frame time issues or stutters in the game really, and it's that pretty consistent 25 to 32 FPS, sometimes a little higher from what I've seen here. So yeah, not necessarily calling it playable for everyone, but the fact that it is working here graphically now and that it's not crashing, that it is running okay. If you only had a Steam Deck and you were dying to play this game and you didn't want to use cloud gaming, which Xbox Cloud Gaming and GeForce Now are great options, if you just didn't want to go that way, wanted to run it local, technically now you could get away with it and play some Indiana Jones here. So again, it's not perfect performance. I think there's definitely room for improvement. I'd love to see FSR 3 on here with frame generation and some great mods from the community combined. I bet we could get this game to run 30 FPS pretty steadily in almost all areas, and that would be really cool to see, even if we're talking about low graphics here on the Steam Deck. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much where I'm going to leave it. I know this isn't going to be great for a lot of people as far as visual quality or the FPS of the game, But I was happy to see that not long after launch, we have a lot of things getting fixed in here and working properly. Definitely some room for improvement, but I definitely wanted to update from the original video we did at launch. So anyways, guys, thanks a lot for coming and check out the video. As always, I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.